In this edition of INN CEO Talks, I am joined by Kimberly Ann, the founder and CEO of Lahontan Gold, and we're talking about the company's Santa Fe project, a past-producing open-pit mine which the company says it has identified what has the potential to become a multi-million ounce gold resource. Kimberly, welcome.
Thank you.
You know, why don't we just roll up our sleeves right now and dig into the details of this historic site?
Yeah, I mean, the Santa Fe asset is a fantastic asset. It was mined for 4 years, back from 1988 to 1992. It had terrific production during that timeline, and it was during, $400 gold. We know the grades are fantastic. They were mining average 1.1 grams gold, and for the Walker Lane, that's pretty high grade for open pit. So we were very encouraged when we took on this lovely project, and from there, we've since drilled 10,000 meters ourselves. We have a drill rig coming the middle of July to start up our program again. But we do believe this is a very large system. And it's not just about the open pit story. We're getting super excited about the deep high grade we're finding, which is it's one of our zones is called the B8 zone, and it's a huge high grade feeder to the system. So our geos are very excited, and I just couldn't be happier to have this asset.
So where are you at then in the development of the property? Are you still proving out like what you will believe is the total resource, or are you now starting to make plans to next stages? And if so, what are those next stages?
Yeah, that's a great question. So once we finish this last 15,000 meters of drilling at Santa Fe, our goal for this program, we will put out a maiden resource. We do have an internal resource, but it's not a published resource. Once we get that out to the public, that should be Q3, end of Q3. It just depends on when we get the assays back, because we want all the data first. And then we'll start looking on making the decision whether we go to the PA steady stage and start, getting permits back in place. So it's not a matter of if it's there, it's about how much is there and where's the critical amount we need to start looking to the permitting phase, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't prove it all out, obviously. I mean, you could drill forever. We do believe that once we get to a critical mass, we'll focus on getting permits, because it's brownfield. We have 2 wells on the property, power, that's a hub station. So certainly this is a brownfield asset. We think we can fast track it back to production. And so, we're going to be very aggressive with that approach, but in parallel have a drill rig turning focused on our high grade zones, because we do believe this is going to be a two-pronged story: open pit first, and then also underground in the future.
So your plan then is to become operational. You and your team will develop the mine. Are you also looking at venturing with a major?
Well, I believe that our shareholders come first. I believe that we will be focused on, going down the path of building it ourselves. If a major comes in and wants to partner with us or take us out, then that's up to the timeline, at that stage of our company. We are poised with a fantastic team that know how to build mines, and we will continue down that path. And if the right choice for us is to build it ourselves, we'll do it. If it's to sell it and make a lot of money for our shareholders, I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? So it'll be focused on the shareholders and what's best for them.
The purpose of these interviews, of course, is to introduce potential investors to your company. What from this interview is the most important thing that you want them to take away as they consider whether or not they're going to invest in Lahontan?
That's a great question. Lahontan is just, I would say, of all the companies I've ever run, this is my darling company, because we do have not just our Santa Fe asset, but it has a great backstop of another project called Moho, which is a high-grade gold and silver asset that we'll be talking about in the future. So we have a lot of news flow throughout the year, so I would encourage investors to pay attention, at least get on our list, and start seeing what we do, because I am proud of the fact that I always tell the truth. I try to stick to my timelines, and if we can't, I will tell. I'll tell my investors. We do a lot of podcasts impromptu, videos. The other day I just did it at one-to-one walking down the street. So people knew where I was and what we're doing. And so for me, it's about just getting them engaged and paying attention, and then they can make a decision for themselves.
So just a couple things before we wrap up. You're in Nevada, but tell us a little bit more about the Lahontan region. Why is this such a unique historical site?
Yeah, so Lahontan is, well, we're in the Walker Lane, and the Walker Lane is massively active right now. Our neighbor next door, they own 42 Gold, they own Isabella Pearl. They're mining open pit, 3 gram rock, 600 cash costs. I mean, who doesn't want that? So we have a lot of neighbors doing very, very well. We butt up to those guys, so they're drilling right on our property, which is exciting to see what their results are. Just the whole Walker Lane in general is a really special place to be. We have a warehouse that's only, and offices only 30 kilometers away from our project. So the guys go out to the field, pick up core, can come back, in 45-minute timeline. It's extremely efficient from that standpoint. And it's just a great place to be. And Lahontan, to the name, we named the company that because that's talking about the ice age that happened a very long time ago, the ice age that had a lake that covered all parts of Nevada and California, and we wanted to, just celebrate the history of the area. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better jurisdiction right now. Besides, maybe having flow-through dollars in Canada. I wish we had those, but we don't. So it is what it is.
Well, you're at an exciting stage right now, and I anticipate that there'll be future news coming within months, and hopefully you'll come back
Very
and share
soon.
that with us. Yeah.
I would love to.
Wonderful.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
me.
Our pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Take care.